Ring of Honor returns to the pay-per-view waves for the first time since Final Battle 2019 with the 2020 version of Final Battle. That'll come up this Friday, December 18th, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Get it on pay-per-view, get it on Fight TV, Ring of Honor Honor Club, all the usual outlets. One of the matches that is slated to be there involves my guest at this time, joining me via Zoom on the Vaqueros Cafe and Cantina hotline. He has been a myriad of things, but he is now part of the foundation. It is Rhett Titus. Follow him on Twitter and Instagram at Rhett Titus ANX. Rhett, how you doing, man?
I am doing great.
First of all, as I mentioned before we went on the air, you're looking sharp. Got the coat and tie. I mean, you look like you're ready for like a hostile takeover of a business.
Well, coming on here, I got to represent myself well. I got to represent the foundation well, and I got to represent the company as well too. So these are always things that you have to think about when you're asked to do any type of media appearance.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So as I understand, of course, everyone's in the Ring of Honor bubble, as they like to call it, and I've seen different posts from different individuals. Give me your perspective of the bubble. I talked to Jay Lethal a couple months ago. I think it was maybe the last time you guys were all gathered together. Give me your perspective of the bubble.
Well, first things first, the bubble is one of the most precautionary things that any company in wrestling is doing at the moment. I don't believe any other company has any sort of protocol that is as strict as the Ring of Honor bubble protocol. Not only is it a very strict protocol, it's a very expensive protocol. Ring of Honor is sparing no expense to keep all of its wrestlers and production and crew all very, very safe, and I'm very thankful for that. But it's some people would be upset about just sitting in a hotel for a week or what have you, but I'm very thankful that they are doing this because they are putting all of us first, and we are able to put out new content, and we are able to return to pay-per-view this Friday night, which I am very excited about.
I saw on Instagram you hit a deer on the way to the bubble.
Yeah, demolished him. So, it just
it looks like it didn't do too well to your car either.
No. Had to get it towed, and luckily for Grizzly Redwood, he came and picked me up and drove me to the bubble.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was it was a very nerve-wracking time because we had to be here before 12 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And the accident happened at like 7:30. So, I'm dealing with the cops, dealing with the insurance company, trying to figure out, dealing with the tow truck. But I made it here with like a half hour to spare. So
that's good. I'm glad you didn't get hurt.
I'm safe. I'm fine.
That's good.
The only casualty was my car and the deer, unfortunately.
And the deer. Well, that's okay. Absolutely. Well, in Ring of Honor, you had that long layoff, after the March pay-per-view was canceled because of the pandemic. Long layoff up until you decided, or Ring of Honor decided to restart the Pure tournament, which was a fantastic tournament. I think it was probably one of the most unique presentations in all of wrestling. It was so good. Let me ask you this. What kept you busy during that layoff? I know a lot of people had, did everything from personal health and well-being, working out and everything, to, household projects, to other projects. What did Rhett Titus do during his layoff?
Well, I have a 15-year-old boy, and I have, who at the time, he was less than a year old baby as well, so a newborn baby too. So that kept me very busy. My wife was working from home, so she would be on the laptop all day, and I'd be taking care of the baby, diapers and feeding them breakfast, lunch, dinner, and babas and all that sort of stuff, putting them down for naps. And when the baby would go down for a nap, I'd go out into my backyard in my little makeshift gym that I made out there. Rain or shine, I'd be out there in the freezing cold, pouring rain, whole 9 yards, because at the time you never knew when we would be going back to work. And when I would be going back to work, I wanted to be more than prepared to be going back to work. I don't want to go back to work looking like a fat tub of goo or something, especially when people are used to seeing me in tip-top shape. Because I kind of live by the motto, you don't have to get ready when you stay ready. So the whole time I was just waiting for that call, like, hey, let's get back to work, So whenever that call came, I'd be more than ready to take them up on that offer.
Absolutely. And you've always been, and you've definitely been one of the, I guess, really good body guys in Ring of Honor, and especially of late. That was the stint you had where you'd come out almost every week and flex. I mean, kind of called you back to the days of Lex Luger or the Ravishing Rick Rude, the late Rick Rude. Was that kind of, did those two ever play into like an inspiration or anything like that?
Of course, like just because you look at guys and think, wow, like look at the physique on Rick Rude, look at it, all his abs, and Lex Luger, he might have been a little bit more chemically enhanced than some of the other guys, but still impressive physique. And even when I was running with the Flex Express, takeoff of the Lex Express, he had a big tour bus. I had a little minivan with a sign on the side that said Flex Express. But yeah, body guys are tend to, people look down on them as far as, pure wrestling. That's why you never really seen many body guys in Ring of Honor, because it's always more of a sport type thing. The body guys are always more reserved for, your WWE or something along those lines. But I'm trying to change the perception on that, because not only I'm in tip-top shape, but I can get in that ring and I can go with the best of them as well. So I'm very flattered to be a body guy, but I'm more than just a body guy as well. I'm a pure wrestler, and I am the foundation.
You have definitely established yourself being in Ring of Honor since 2006, correct?
Yeah.
So you're one of those guys, you may not have been like day one, but you're pretty close to it. And you've been there for the whole thing. You've seen the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows. So give me your perspective of what we see now. I asked this of a lot of guys in different companies. The creativity and some of the wrestling content that we see coming out now. Do you feel like some of this content has been born out of necessity, maybe?
Yeah, for sure. People are just thinking of different things they can do to think outside the box. But the thing that I love about Ring of Honor is, instead of, having a boneyard match or, some dumpster dive match or whatever we've seen on, other stations, Ring of Honor just went back to its roots, and weren't focused on having these crazy, scramble matches or anything. Like we were going back to our roots and the roots of pure wrestling. I always made the joke, if the Briscoes are day one, I'm week two, but I've been along for the ride the whole time, because even prior to joining Ring of Honor, I was at the very first Ring of Honor show, February 23rd, 2002, at the Murphy Rec Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as a fan. So I've seen it come from a little rec center to Madison Square Garden, and it's been an amazing journey. One that I wouldn't trade for the world, as well as the thing is, like, back then, there was no disqualifications. Everybody followed the code of honor, and Ring of Honor was known for its wrestling. Keyword, wrestling. And that is what the foundation is trying to do. Not only are we trying to restore honor and give back to the company, but we are also trying to bring the pure wrestling back. So when you look at Ring of Honor, you think, man, like, look at these guys. These are some athletes. This is a sport. These guys take this seriously. These guys can go.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why Ring of Honor called itself the best wrestling on the planet, and it's hard to argue with that. Absolutely. Talk with Rhett Titus here on Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. Let me ask you this. So, as I said, you're in the bubble. Did you bring anything, some sort of a home creature comfort to have with you while you're in this hotel and you're doing the tapings and you go back to the bubble to stay safe? Is there something you brought from home to kind of give you that, I don't know, comfort level?
Yes, my dumbbells.
There you go.
Yeah, so I brought my dumbbells so I can, work out right here in the hotel room if need be. And also, I brought my Amazon Fire Stick so I could watch wrestling.
Okay.
But problem with that is that I forgot the remote, so I'm a little, I'm this close, but
Yeah.
I'll have to make do, right?
I was going to say, how did we get along long before this when you didn't have remote controls? Now it seems like everything's run by remote control.
Yeah, the kids these days, they just don't understand what it's like to, trade a wrestling tape, whereas now they can go
Exactly.
online and have everything right there at their fingertips. I
Yep.
would have to, dub a tape for somebody and send it out across the world and get a tape back and put the tape in, and hopefully it was good quality. Kids don't understand that these days.
No.
And
Or
10 years ago, we'd never be able to do this like we are doing right now.
absolutely, absolutely, you're right. And I go back even further to where you only had, it was the advent of cable. So outside of maybe a couple of three channels that showed wrestling, that was it. And there were no tapes yet. VCRs weren't prevalent then. So you had, now luckily for me, I had Mid-South Wrestling, I had World Class Wrestling being right there, so I got to see a lot of those, the beginnings of some of those great careers.
I've been a big Mid-Atlantic kick myself,
Oh yeah,
so
absolutely,
you know,
absolutely. Bob Caudle and those guys. I mean, Mid Atlantic Wrestling was such a classic. Just there's so much that came out of Mid Atlantic that you wouldn't even think of today.
yeah, it's the '80s is my all-time favorite decade of wrestling.
Absolutely, and that's when I grew up. So, so let's get to Final Battle. You and Hot Sauce Tracy Williams, you're taking on Fred Yehi and Wheeler Yuta in it's a Pure Rules tag team match. And from what I understand, is this the first time there's been a Pure Rules tag team match?
Yes, this is the first time ever Pure Rules tag team match. Never been done before. Now, if you go back to some of that Mid Atlantic wrestling and Mid South wrestling, like we were talking about before, where guys actually follow the tag team rules, it would be kind of similar to a Pure Rules tag team match. But wrestling has gotten a little out of hand these days, especially during the pandemic, and guys seem to forget to hold the tag rope. Guys seem to not make hand-to-hand tags. They want to tag at the back of somebody's head. They want to tag the shoulder, foot, whatever. This Pure Rules tag match, it will be all hand-to-hand tags where your hand has to be over the top rope and you have to be holding the tag rope. Another concept that seems to be a lost art of sorts. Even though most places still have the tag rope in place on the turnbuckle, most people don't hold on to it to make a tag.
Some
But
don't even know what it is. They just think it's some extra piece of string from when you tie the pad onto the turnbuckle.
yeah, and another big rule too is teams will only be permitted one save. So you can't be running into the ring and you know saving your partner from a pinfall or submission. You get one of those. Now, if you use two, it counts as a rope break. If you are out of rope breaks, you're disqualified and the other team wins. So you get three rope breaks like in a traditional Pure Rules match. So you can use them to get out of a pinfall or submission, or your tag team partner can come in and break it up. Code of honor must be followed. No interference from anybody. They will be terminated if there's any outside interference. And no punches to the face as well. The first punch will be a warning. The second one will be automatic disqualification.
Amazing. Absolute, just classic wrestling, the way it used to be. I love it. Fred Yehi and Wheeler Yuta were both in the pure championship tournament. What did you see of them? Give me your scouting report. They seem to do pretty well in that pure wrestling environment. Just give me your thoughts.
If Ring of Honor fans didn't see Wheeler Yuta or Fred Yehi in the Pure tournament, they are nobody to be overlooked. Those two guys are the epitome of what a pro wrestler is. Wheeler Yuta, he had a tough draw in the first round. Jonathan Gresham, but he held his own, and there's no shame in losing to the guy that won the whole damn thing. As far as Fred Yehi went into the first round and he beat Silas Young, who's a longtime veteran of Ring of Honor. So he's got that going for him. He lost to Tracy Williams in the second round, but he almost had Tracy Williams along the ropes and almost beat Tracy Williams himself. So these are two guys not to be taken lightly. I'm very much looking forward to this match, very much to, adhering to the rules and making this a trend if we can.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Talk with Rhett Titus. Before I let you go, I wanted to mention a little bit about what you're doing with the foundation. So it's you and Tracy Williams and Jonathan Gresham, the current Pure champion, and Jay Lethal, of course, Gresham and Lethal, the current Ring of Honor Tag Team champions. The chemistry that is amongst the four of you just seems to meld so well. Talk for a second about that chemistry. Talk about what you have gained in your time, since this group has come together.
One of the main things that I've gained since I have joined the foundation is the confidence in myself. There's nothing like having the respect of your peers, but when your peers are Jay Lethal, Jonathan Gresham, Tracy Williams, and you have their respect, that's a whole nother talking point. Throughout my career in Ring of Honor, I had done different things to try to, bring Ring of Honor back to its, pure roots. Whether it was joining Scum, where we were trying to destroy and rebuild Ring of Honor and its image of yesteryear, or either the Cabinet Rebellion, where we were kneeling for the Code of Honor, where because people weren't adhering to it, it was just became a thing that people did before matches, and it served no rhyme or reason. But now we have the strength in numbers to follow through with this, and with Jay Lethal and Jonathan Gresham being the World Tag Team Champions and Gresham having the Pure title, we're out to purify all of the championships and divisions in Ring of Honor and restore honor. So that's something that I think back to the first day walking into that Murphy Rec Center and how it made me feel that day. And I want to make other people feel that same way. Another kid that may be thinking about getting into wrestling or just is in love with wrestling, make him feel the same way that I felt on February 23rd, 2002.
Good to know. Good to know. He is Rhett Titus, part of the foundation. Catch him at Ring of Honor Final Battle Friday night, December 18th, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. You can get it on pay-per-view or Fight TV, and I bet you we'll have a code to give away so you can see it. You can also get it on Ring of Honor Honor Club. Rhett, man, it's good to talk to you. I think we talked right before we went on the air. I think this may be the first time you've been on the show. You're kind of the last of the long-term Ring of Honor guys that I've been privileged enough to talk to. It's great to visit with you, though. I've always enjoyed your work, man. All the best to everybody in Ring of Honor. Be safe, be well. Looking forward to Friday night.
Stu, thank you for having me. And while this was my first appearance, hopefully it's not my last.
It won't be your last. Thanks, man.
Thank you.